Welcome to the common chaos of sisterhood.
I'm Haley.
And I'm Amy.
Come hang out with us.
Grab your drinks and get comfy.
And let's get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. We're so glad you're with us. We're so excited to announce it's the start of spooky season.
It's finally October, and I get to unleash all my spookiness.
She's been
We're
waiting
gonna
for
start.
this.
We're gonna start this episode pretty light. Well, not say light. There is gonna be some trigger warnings, but we're gonna start this kind of light, and then I'm gonna get into actually like Halloween themed stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about getting further into this month.
Oh, you can
I
control
might,
Christmas. I'm controlling
I might
Halloween.
be crying myself to sleep.
Don't worry, today's about fairy tales.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually kind of excited
We're
for these.
Yeah, we're talking about fairy tales today, and that leads us up to our question of the day. What is your favorite Disney movie?
Oh, 100% Tangled.
Tangled?
Yep.
Favorite?
If I was
Like
about
your
100% like all time favorite, like I will watch it 5 billion times. Though there's some that I really like that I'll like watch like just as much, like it's like right there. Like Beauty and the Beast I really like. But like Tangled is just, I don't
Okay,
know.
what's your top three?
My top 3 would be Tangled, Beauty and the Beast, and mm, Disney, not Pixar, right? Yeah, Disney.
Yep, Disney.
Uh, yeah, Tangled, Beauty and the Beast, and hmm, um, like trying to determine if like I like any of the older ones, because like right
I
now
can
all the
definitely
newer ones
say
are going like into my brain.
I can definitely say I'm not a big fan of Snow White,
I don't like Snow
and
White.
I'm not like I love Maleficent.
Yeah.
That is my favorite
That was
Disney
really
villain
that
is
was
Maleficent.
yeah that was really the movie that they made was really
Favorite,
good.
yeah, favorite Disney villain is Maleficent.
I don't like Sleeping
But I
Beauty.
really don't care for Sleeping Beauty.
Mm-mm.
I really
Uh,
didn't care about it. It was
mm-mm.
just I think those two movies, since they were so early on, just the chirpy high voice singing, I
Yes. Well, even
couldn't stand.
like I liked Cinderella. It was okay, but I'm
I
really
like
not
Cinderella.
like a huge fan of Cinderella though.
It's
Mm.
like the Renaissance era.
Yeah.
I like them. I respect them. I
Mm.
will watch them. Not a huge fan.
Yeah. I will
I
say
really like
I will
good.
say I do like Frozen though. The amount of times that we watched Frozen when it first
Oh my
came
gosh.
out was ridiculous.
Emery had me watching it constantly. Like that and Trolls.
Trolls.
And she still has me watching Frozen. She'll randomly walk to the house, like the little tune that like Elsa sings in the second one.
Ah, that one?
Yeah, like yeah. She will walk to the house singing that, and I'm like, "Bruh, can you stop?"
Ah. Start singing it.
For a while, I was copying her. Like, well, that's how I'll call her through the house. I'll just do it, and she'll do it back and come running.
It makes me think of the scene like with Olaf when he's like she's doing it and he's trying to help her and Anna's like, I think it's best if just one person does it. He goes, yes, I agree. She's a
Yeah,
bit pitchy.
yeah. Samantha?
Mm,
Okay, I don't know
oh,
what Samantha.
Samantha. No, like my
Um,
all time favorite is 100% Tangled. I don't know why I'm obsessed with that
that's
movie.
in my top three. So Aladdin and Sleeping Beauty
Mm.
are very
You mean
close.
Beauty and the Beast?
I can't. Yeah, sorry, not. We were just talking about Sleeping Beauty. Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast.
Mm.
They're very like I just depends on the day. They switch spots,
Right.
and then Tangled
Mm.
would be like a hard third.
Right.
But I will watch. I love The Lion King too.
Mm. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I don't know why. Like I like
Love
it.
love The Lion King. I like the second one.
I
I
like one
love
and
the
a
second one.
half.
Like 1.5, I could kinda do without,
Oh
but the
yeah,
second one, Simba's Pride,
yeah.
loved that one. But it's gonna be Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and then
Ooh,
Tangled.
one that I didn't think about, Mulan. I forget about that
Oh,
one all the
Mulan's up there
time.
too.
I forget about
I
that one
don't
all the
forget
time.
about it, I'll sing it all the time.
It's so funny though because for the longest time, I feel you watched the second one so often that I thought for the longest time that the second one was the first one. And then I
Oh,
came out, I watched the first one. I was like, "What is this one?" I was like, "Oh, is this like the second one?" You're like, "No, this is the first one." And I'm like, "What?"
I was so obsessed for the first one for so long, and then the second one, I was so obsessed with it, I'd
Mm-hmm.
watch it all the freaking
Yep.
time, and, like, I'd go back to the first one, and I remember you sitting there like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's Milan. Have you never oh my god, you never watched it?"
As I never watched the first one, I always watched the second one because you watched the second one so much. And I watched the first one. I was like, "Huh, it's the first time I've ever seen the first one."
I think the first one's so much better than the second one,
It is.
but I have a tattoo on my chin of Mushu.
Yeah.
Let Mushu. Nightmare Before Christmas, one of my
I love that
favorite
movie.
movies. Again, right above Mushu was Jack and Sally.
Yeah,
But
I love that movie.
is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
Yes, I've already informed people that I will starting watching A Nightmare Before Christmas the day October like I've already started it October 1st, and it's going to be watched all the way until Christmas Day. Oh, I'm blurry.
But is it a Halloween? You blurred out. Is it a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie?
Yes, it's both. I'm telling you, it is a 3 month movie. I watch it at the beginning. Every year, I start it at the beginning of October, and I watch it all the way until I'll probably watch it 25 times in the next 3 months.
So, the way my point of view is, the movie, like, it takes place the day after Halloween, and it goes on to Christmas. It is a Christmas movie. It is my all-time favorite Christmas movie,
Uh-huh.
and I will watch it all through Christmas, but I will also watch it all year round.
That's what I'm telling you. It is a 3 month movie. It is. I watch it all year round, but it is a movie that is acceptable to watch during October, November, December. It is a movie that I will watch probably about 25 times starting in October and going all the way through Christmas. I'm so ready. Oh my gosh. We have a couple of my coworkers and my coworkers we're gonna get together and we're going to um have a movie like a Disney Halloween movie night, and we're gonna be watching like Night Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town, and like we're gonna like have Halloween snacks, and we're gonna make the little tie like Halloween blankets, and I'm so excited.
But I'm 100% after we're done, videoing this, I am watching The Conjuring. Or actually, I'm gonna start with Annabelle. I am starting that
The whole
series.
series.
I
Out of
am starting the series.
out of the whole series, the only one that really made me like super uneasy, like still to rewatch it, is the Nun. Both Nun movies. It's just, ooh.
I can't remember if I've seen the second one. I think I have,
Mm,
but I had like Amory coming in and out, Aaron coming in and
yeah.
out. I'm like, yo, let me focus. But yeah, I'm gonna start all of that. That's gonna be my like. I love horror movies. I have no one to watch them with because like no one watch. Aaron will not watch them with me. Amory will. There's just times I cover her eyes.
Which is what you used to do with me.
What whatever moms want to say out there. My kid loves her favorite show is Supernatural. Like, kid
Yep.
loves horror movies. Her favorite thing to watch on YouTube is Five Nights at Freddy's. She's a weird kid, okay?
I
Get it.
can't
She gets it
watch
from
it.
me. Um, but there are things in movies, and I'm like, no, I'm
See,
not. I'm it's one of those things, the reason why a lot of the movies are, like, my favorite movies now is because I wasn't allowed to watch them as a child.
Yeah.
Like, Harry Potter, wasn't allowed to watch it
Oh, I
as a
watched the
child.
first one the other day. That's another thing I
My
started.
favorite like, I love Harry Potter, read all the books, like, I deep dived, like, unhealthily deep dived into Harry Potter. So I wasn't we weren't allowed to watch it as kids, so it's just, like it's one of those things, like, if I know she's not allowed to, watch it, she's gonna, like, force a way to watch because I know how teenagers work. I was one. But honestly, she kinda reminds me of you, so I don't think she would.
No, she probably wouldn't. Well, it's like it's funny because like
But
you would used to cover my eyes. That so like you forced me to watch The Conjuring, and I gave
and I'd
in,
just be like
and like there was like
be like, "What are
parts.
you doing? Trust me."
And you're like you're covering. I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, trust me, you don't want to see this. And I hear this loud noise. I'm like, ah, okay, got it. And I watch it now, and I'm
Trust me.
like, makes sense why she covered my eyes. And it's because of the jump scares. I can't do jump scares. I used to. She used to watch The Mummy all the time, and there was one scene in it. There was like a jump scare, and I
Oh, still my favorite movie.
hated that part of the movie. I liked the movie, hated that part of the movie, and I would literally walk out of the room, stand outside the door because I could hear it. I knew what was happening, and then I'd come back in. I hated that
Yeah,
part.
but still, my all-time favorite movie is Mummy, and it's the part that, like, he, like, comes back to life, right? They're like, "Oh, it's juicy."
No, no,
Like,
no,
they
no,
read out of the
no,
book,
no, no, no,
and
no,
he's
no,
like,
no.
"Ah, ah."
No, 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 no. It was the scene where her brother is in the coffin and she heard the noise. She says, "Hello, is anyone in
Oh
there?"
my
And she
god.
walks up to the coffin and the skeleton sits up. It's that scene. And every time I knew it was coming, every time it scared me, and every time I jumped, and I hated that part of the movie. Hated
Oh,
it. It was literally at the beginning of the movie.
okay, like, how many times I had you watch that, I figured that you like, "Oh, no, it's a person." I figured you'd be scared of the time that, like, it wasn't a person having them sit up, it was you know, the mummy coming to life.
No, no, it
Oh,
was
okay.
no, it was the scene where he's in there and the skeleton goes.
Yeah, that was also one of the ones I would like, shh.
Oh, no, I would walk out of the room because I knew it happened. Every time it scared me, so I'd get up and walk out before I like. She walks into it, she goes hello, and I'm like, I need to go get a drink, and then I'd get up and walk out of the room, and wait till it was over till I come back in.
I'm sitting there crisscross, like, leaning as close as I can to the TV, like, "Oh."
I did the same thing with like the Wizard of Oz too.
Oh,
The
you
first time
hated The
I
Wizard of Oz.
vividly remember the first house that we lived in. I was this before we moved, so I was like probably like 5 or 6. I remember watching The
You
Wizard
were
of Oz
young.
for the first time, and I was sitting. I think I was sitting in between mom and dad or something like that, and the the Wicked Witch appeared, and I was literally terrified. I literally got up and like went into the kitchen and got a
You
drink,
were
and I
so
literally would not.
scared of monkeys.
I would literally like no, it wasn't the monkeys. It was the Wicked Witch, and she
No,
scared me,
after watching
and she like I remember standing outside because like there was like the little doorway, and I literally stood there. They're like, "Come back in and sit down." I'm like,
uh
uh, uh.
I remember when you actually finished, like, actually watched the full movie, you were so, like, just so terrified of monkeys, for a little bit because you were so young. You
Yeah,
were so young,
I was like
and
5 or 6.
you were so terrified of monkeys, and you were like I remember we went to the zoo. We went to the zoo once. I was like, "Be careful, they might spread wings." And you got so upset with me, like, so upset. "Monkeys don't have wings! Monkeys don't have wings!"
You were
I
mean.
tormented you as
You
a
were
kid.
just mean.
I was mean. I tormented you. But anyways, all of that being said, the, you know, stories, movies, all that, they came from somewhere. They all came from somewhere. They all have an origin. They all have, like, a story that was told before, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about, like, I don't know if it's, like, the beginning, like, the very first origin, but these are it's almost like a game of telephone,
Mhm.
how it, like, goes from story to story to story, and it all kinda changes.
Like
Good
evolves.
example is all the Cinderella stories,
Oh yeah.
like, there's a million of them. And they just kind of have a retelling in their own way. One of my favorite genres of books is dark retellings of, like, Disney, fairy tale, like, those kind of stories. I have so many of 'em in my collection of books. I love retellings. So we are gonna talk about, like, origins of fairy tales and thing. And I know we said that we really didn't care for Snow White, wasn't our favorite movie. I think it honestly had to do with, like, the high pitch
Yeah.
twerping. But we're gonna start off with the Snow White original fairy tale.
Nice.
Um, I don't know if this is a very first original,
Mhm.
but I know it's kind of lightly based on the story.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about the actual movie, like the Snow White movie?
Pretty much know everything about it. She that the person marries dad, dad dies. Nope. No. Person marries mom dies. Evil stepmother person marries the person. Anyway, she's like, I want to be the fairest of them all. Am I the fairest of them all? To a mirror, and she's like, no. Snow White is, and she's like, can't have that. She needs to be killed. And so she sends a she sends a huntsman person to go kill her, and she ends up finding the seven dwarves, and then and then the husband's like, yes, I killed her, here's her heart, and then she's like, mirror, am I the fairest of them all? He's like, no, she's still alive. And she goes, what?
Did it, bitch.
and she's living with the seven dwarves, and she's whatever. And oh, in the beginning of all of this, she's like singing, and the prince dude hears her singing, and like, oh, you're so beautiful. And this is before her stepmother tries to kill her, and then, well, evil stepmother lady turns herself into a only ugly old person and says, do you want that apple? Apple? And then
Apple? That's what is
apple.
that? What is that from?
Enchanted.
Enchanted.
Mm-hmm.
Apple?
Apple.
The little squirrel.
Yeah. And then she's like, yes, I'm going to take an apple from a strange person I don't know. Sure. Death. And then
But
and then she's like, do
you're
do
like
do do do.
Olaf,
I'm
like,
the fairest.
explaining.
And then the evil person's like, do 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 do. I'm the fairest of them all. And then Prince Man says, yes, dead woman, I must kiss her. Mwah! Oh my God, you're alive. I want nothing to do with you. JK, they live
You
happily
liar.
ever. They
You
live
live happily
happily
ever.
ever after.
Do you remember the name of the prince?
No.
Me neither. I think it's
Prince
Prince.
Charming? Nope,
No, it's Cinderella. I
Cinderella.
think it's I think it's Prince Philip.
Nope, that's Sleeping Beauty.
Either
That's
that's
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. I don't
Philip
know.
Prince
No
Philip is
names.
Sleeping Beauty.
Philip is Sleeping Beauty. I don't know.
Oh.
He doesn't have a name.
Just
He's
the
the one with the weird
prince.
feather in his hat.
Yes. No, that's still Sleeping Beauty.
So see, I
Because the
don't watch
animal,
Snow
because the
White.
owl and the animals have the feather hat. Yeah, no, that's still Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, I don't watch Snow White. I don't like Snow White.
Oh. Anywho,
Wait, hold on. Like, is Cinderella charming?
Cinderella's charming.
Then why in Once Upon a Time is the Snow White character call him charming?
Oh,
No, it's like
no.
Cinderella's Prince Charming.
Cinderella's Prince Charming. It's Prince Florian. I just looked it up.
Or how do I know what her remembers? But name.
It's Prince Florian.
Anyways, that is the you know, you can visual it in your head, perfect rendition of how the movie goes.
It's
We
good.
are going to talk about the original fairy tale.
It's probably not as bad as good as my rendition.
Probably not. Anyways, um, so in the original one, she's still a princess. The evil queen, this Eve's stepmother, whatever, is still jealous of her.
Mhm.
However, Snow White is only 7 years old.
7?
Yeah, 7 years old in
Oh
this
my
rendition. Like I
gosh.
said, I don't know if this is the actual, like, fully original one. It could be one of
Right.
the remakes, but it is older than the Disney one.
Right.
But she is only 7 years old when the queen orders the huntsman to kill her.
Jeez.
The huntsman lets her go because, he has a conscience and he's like, I'm not going to kill a 7-year-old. Right.
A lot of happening.
So he finds a bear cub and cuts out the lungs and the liver
Uh-huh.
for the queen because that's what she requested, so the queen can eat them.
Oh, ew. What the
Yeah.
heck?
She wanted to eat Snow White's
Hold up.
lungs and
Hold
liver.
up. It was the evil queen Elizabeth Bathory?
Well, maybe. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Whoa.
Wanted to eat her
That's
lungs and liver.
gross.
That I found that
Exciting.
really gross. So like the before ones, like it didn't. I think that was the next one that like the game, like I said, Game of Telephone. It's like renditions after renditions.
Right.
They changed it to heart, but before
Oh.
it was liver and lungs.
Oh, because I thought it was heart. Interesting.
So Huntsman lets her go, catches the bear, cuts out his liver and lungs,
Uh-huh.
feeds the queen. She's running through the woods, lost, just like the movie. Runs across a little cottage, and she finds inside very small things. Like she's a child, everything fits her. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of children live here. Don't know. But in the story, it's actually like so in the movie it's depicted as everything was dirty, messy, like nothing was like kept.
Yeah.
In this story, it was everything in the cottage was small, but than can be neater and cleaner than can be told, is
Interesting.
what it says. So
Interesting.
it's very neat, very clean, very kept. She went to she fell asleep in the bed, doing like the whole Goldilocks thing,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, and then they came, they hi-hoed their way down and came to the house and found her sleeping. It was like, okay, why is this kid in my bed? What's going on? And uh, she explained everything to her, like, to them, the dwarves. They
Uh,
explained everything to the dwarves, and they were like, okay, we will, take care of you, raise you, if you do the cooking and cleaning. Which I don't know if I'd trust my 7-year-old to cook, let alone. I mean, she can clean up her own messes, but the cook and clean, I don't know. But like you cook and clean, we will take care of you. We will raise you. You'll make sure you're safe. So after meeting the dwarves, goes back to the queen, asks the mirror, who is the fairest of them all? Mirror, can't lie. I ain't you. Snow White still. She was all pissed. She was like, "Hey, huntsman, man, you're supposed to kill her. Why is she still alive?" And she took matters in her own hands. She's like, "Well, if I mean, no one else can do it, I'm gonna do it." And she tried to kill her 3 different times. Now, I know. So with the readings I was doing, I know she was 7 years old when they first tried to kill her.
uh-huh.
It doesn't say how much time has lapsed.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming it's as she's getting older.
Right.
I'm not sure. And this like so I don't think she's still 7 years old, but I don't know.
Right.
But the queen tries to kill her 3 different times. First time, she disguises herself as a woman selling lace for corsets
Interesting.
and went in, helped her, lace up a corset because that's what one does. Lets a stranger in a house to lace up a corset. Well, she laces up so tight that she can't breathe.
Oh.
Like she stopped breathing and passed out. Queen's like, "Ah, my job's done. I'm out." And the doors came in, untied it. She was able to breathe, saved her, and they really reprimanded her. Like, "Hey, you know the queen's after you. Don't let anyone in this house.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna kill you. Don't let anyone here.
Yeah.
If we're not here, don't let stranger danger, stranger danger." Well, the next day
Oh my god.
after after she, was suffocated to death,
Cheryl them.
the queen the queen dresses as a different old lady. She chooses a different old lady, dresses as a different old lady, and gives Snow White a poison comb.
A poison comb?
And a comb, like to brush her hair with,
Mm.
a comb, and offered her to brush her hair. And she stabbed her in the skull
Oh my gosh.
with, with said comb.
Random person. Here, would you like a comb? I can brush your hair for you. Oh yes,
Oh.
I'm too lazy. Please brush my hair. Oh, ow, that hurt. Careful, I'm tender-headed.
It kind of reminds me like how mom would how she would braid my hair in, like the little bitty braids, would twist my hair with the little
Oh
the
yeah,
butterfly
yeah,
clips.
the twist, yeah.
They were so tight. Just cause you imagine just but comb to her, stabbed her on the head with comb. But the poison wasn't strong enough. So like one of the dwarfs kinda like mended her back to health
Was it
and
Doc?
they berated her again. No, I don't know. I didn't say. But they all berated her again, like, "Stop letting strangers in the house, you stupid girl.
You're going to die.
Like, someone is out to kill you. You know someone's out to kill you. Stop being dumb." So
Oh god.
the next day,
Oh lord.
your queen, instead of the last 2 times she dressed as an old lady,
Hmm.
she dressed up as a farmer's wife. So, like, in the movie, it's depicted that she's like a like, decrepit lady. Um, she was actually disguised as a farmer's wife, and she used a lot stronger poison. Somehow, she only put poison on half the apple, which I don't know how you'd be able to tell, 'cause me personally, I'd accidentally be like, bite off the poison half and be like, "Oh, crap,
Ooh.
I'm dead." But she poisoned half the apple, and, but she came to the house, offered her, some fruit, like, "Will you have some fruit?" She goes, I'm not gonna apple?" But she's like, "I'm not gonna let you in." Like, I she finally learned her lesson, almost dying twice. "I'm not gonna let you in." She was like, "Oh, you don't need to let me in. I'm giving you some of my fruit that, like, I gardened and I cared for and I mended, and here." And she was smart. She was a little
Oh.
smarter.
Oh.
And she was like, "Well, only if you would take a bite first." And she's like, "Yeah, absolutely, takes a bite. Delicious." And so I was like, "Cool." So, not biting on the part she bit, turned it around, bit the apple, immediately went down.
Oh my
She's
god.
gone. She's dead.
Oh
Poison, super strong.
my goodness. She wasn't gonna let it slide
And
this time.
yeah, she was not. She's like, the old lady's stick wasn't working. I'm gonna go as the farmer's wife. We're gonna change this whole stick. Dwarves came home. They were absolutely freaking heartbroken. They're like, "Oh gosh, this girl, she got herself killed. She let somebody else in the house." Stupid. No, I'm
This
just kidding.
dumb
Uh,
child.
but she like they were absolutely heartbroken, and they couldn't bring themselves to bury her in the ground. She still had rosy cheeks, she still had red lips, she still had like the dark red hair, pale. Like, she so pale she looked emaciated, but that's besides the point. She needs some vitamin D. But like she still looked like her lively self. And they're like, she's too beautiful. This child's too beautiful to be able to bury underground. So they made a glass coffin, just like in the movie.
uh-huh.
But instead of burying her in the like placing her coffin in the woods, they placed her in the story. They placed her in the mountains where they would go in and out of the mines.
Oh yeah.
So there was always a dwarf watching over her.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
she was
Oh,
always
neat.
cared for, watched over.
Even though
Over
she was
time,
dead. They couldn't have done that when
yeah,
she was
she was dead.
alive.
Yeah, no. Like, hey, sit on this stump, don't move. You've been trying to kill 3 times, don't move. Well, how in the movie Prince finds her in the woods. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
she's beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
gonna kiss her.
My kisser.
And but she was up in the mountains. This prince, actually, in this story, in this fairy tale, the prince was staying with the dwarves because he was traveling to go hunting, whatever. Found the dwarves home, which I guess it's a I don't know. Like, do they have a sign up that says bed and breakfast? I don't know, but they're
Welcome,
like,
weary traveler.
yeah. But the the prince ended up staying with the dwarves, and the dwarves were talking about how like beautiful girl, like we watch over, went to go visit her with the dwarves,
Mhm.
and absolutely was infatuated with her. She was beautiful. She was gorgeous. So weird, but like, he thought he was so beautiful. He's like he had to convince the dwarves. I have to take her to the castle. I will protect her. I'll watch over her. And that was one of the dwarves. I'm like, no, dude, she's dead. Like, bro.
Not what I thought you were gonna
But
say. I thought you'd be like, he convinced the dwarves I have to kiss her. I have to.
nope. No, 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 no. I'm gonna start a content warning
Oh
here.
god.
These
Oh
stories
no.
are messed up and they get worse as you go. So,
Oh no.
just saying, convinces the dwarves. And this one's not that bad. This one's not that bad, but
Okay.
it does get worse as we go. Um, convinces the dwarves. I think just because he's a prince, king of sun, king of son of a king, not king of sun, son of a king. Dwarves really didn't have like they couldn't really say no. So he got 4 servants to carry the coffin back to the kingdom. Well, one of the servants tripped on a tree stump, and the I guess the movement or like the words, Amy, words. The commotion that the tree stump, like tripping on a tree stump, called one of the 4 people fell on their face, caused the apple to come unlodged from her throat. So the piece of apple came out of the throat, and she's like, "Ah, whoa, I'm alive. I'm here.
Wait,
What's up? She's great."
wait, wait. You're telling me that
And
it's possible that that she didn't even die from the poison, that she just died from
she
choking.
gets choked. But after so long of being in the coffin, she was just, it came unlodged. Oh, I'm good. Fine. We're great. We're great. She sits up. She's like, I'm alive. I'm good. I'm great. Immediately, the prince is like, will you marry me? She says yes. And
Okay.
again, I don't know if she's still a child.
Let's hope she's
I
not
don't know
still
how old
7.
she is. Don't know how old she is. But says yes. And the evil queen was invited to their wedding. And when she arrived, they actually made her wear iron slippers, like iron shoes
Oh.
that were heated up over a fire and made her dance
Oh, oh.
until she fell over dead.
Oh my gosh.
And then they lived happily ever after.
That's it.
That's it. That's seriously it.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
they made her dance in like these iron shoes, the iron slippers that were heated over a fire until she was dead.
Jeez. Oh my goodness.
So honestly, that wasn't real far off of
No,
the
it wasn't.
original Snow White,
Yeah.
like at all. I mean, they changed the age a little bit, and they changed how many times
She,
the evil queen came over.
the amount of times of murder attempts.
Yeah, of the failed murder. I don't know if I was the evil queen, I would stay until I knew he was 100%. Because maybe after the one failed attempt, I'd be like, oh, you know what? If I really wanted her dead, I'm gonna stay until it's complete. It's 4 times. 4 times.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, that is the Snow White rendition. Like that is like one of the retellings,
Yeah.
and it has been retold over and over and over again. There's so many um, different like ways people tell the
Mm.
story, and that's just one of them. And that was Snow White was the first Disney princess, wasn't she?
Yes. I believe
Pretty sure she
so.
was. I'm pretty sure she
I
was the first Disney
think
princess.
so. Hold on, let me fact check that real quick. Yes, she was the first Disney princess. It debuted in 1937. Cinderella was the second.
Yeah. And so that being said, we're gonna go on and move on to the Cinderella story. And can you give us another rendition
Oh
of
yeah, of the Disney
the
one.
Cinderella? Yeah, the Cinderella Disney movie.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mom, dad, child. Mom dies. Dad's like, I'm so lonely. First person I see, yes, you'll do. And they get married, and then she has two daughters. Well, then dad just ups and dies. And then, so this poor child is left with this horrible woman and these horrible two sisters. And she's made to cook and clean, and she has rats as friends, and no other friends besides the rats. Anyways. And the dog
The
and the
birds. Don't
horse.
forget the birds.
Oh, the birds, too. And she does all the chores and stuff like that. Well, then there's a ball, and she wants to go to the ball, and the evil stepmother's like, no, you have to clean. You have to stay here and clean. And she has to everything has to be done. And plus, you don't even have a dress. And she's like, okay, bet. And so she speed runs her day and gets everything cleaned. And then she creates this beautiful dress. And she's like, oh, look at me. I do have a dress. And then her sister's like, no, that's mine. No. And then they just beat her up and And they just beat her up and then just tear her clothes apart until she's almost clothesless. And then she's like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm going to do the thing that all women should do when they're upset. I'm going to throw myself on a rock and cry. And then this beautiful, crazy fairy lady goes, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I can make your life so much better. Bippity boppity boo. And then she turns a pumpkin into a carriage and yes, and then she goes to the ball and she's like, oh, you have till midnight. Why it's always midnight, I don't know. And then she's like, okay. And she goes, I'm going to dance with the beautiful prince. And then Prince is like, oh my goodness. Out of all these people, you're the most magnificent person ever. I love you so much. You're so beautiful. Let's dance. Da, 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 da. Oh, it's midnight. I gotta go. Run, run, run. Lose his shoe. Run, 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 run. Somehow the prince gets an amnesia within the 10 seconds that he's there and she runs away. And he's like, oh no, she's the love of my life. I need to see her again, but I don't remember what she looks like. Okay, well, I found a shoe. Yes, this could be anybody's shoe, but we're going to assume it's hers because I don't remember what she looks like. Servant, go find the person who
Put
fits
out my
this shoe.
wine.
Servant, go find the person that fits this shoe. Doesn't even question the fact that so many people could have that same size shoe or same size foot, but okay. And he goes around and do 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 do. Okay, does yours this fit you? Nope, nope. When he gets to the house and the stepsisters are like, ah, yes, I'm gonna fit into it, but their feet are too fat and too big. And then she's like, is there anyone else that lives here with you? And she's like, no. And then they're like, what about that girl right there? And she's like, who? Me?
And then you're right there.
Who? Me? And they're like, ah, she's nobody. She didn't even go. And he goes, we're required to make her try it on. Try on the shoe. And she's like, okay. And
So aggressive.
she slips her foot in and they're like, ah, yes, you're the one. You're coming with us. And they live happily ever after.
I love your
You're
renditions.
welcome.
You did such a great job.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So, oh, okay. I can't. I can't.
That's the end of it. That's the only rendition we need.
That's the only one. All right. So after that lovely rendition of the Disney movie,
You're welcome.
one of the so Cinderella has one of the most rewritten retelling Cinderella stories. Like it is like so many. And one of the originals before the actual like Disney took it over. Um, their story starts out, you know, mom had died. Dad remarries, thinking that she needs a mother figure. And it's actually said that the stepsisters very beautiful. Very gorgeous, very beautiful. They just had very ugly personalities. And the stepmother and the sisters, they treat her like slaves. And unfortunately, in this one, the father's still alive
Oh, that's rude.
and lets them treat her like crap.
That's so
Just
sad.
they let her do whatever want. Dad's not really present really in this one, other than like randomly like, he'll come into the story and like call her obscene names.
That's so
But they
sad.
treat her like a slave, and they refuse to feed her unless she earns her meals. They take everything out of her bedroom. Doesn't have any furniture. Doesn't even have a bed. She sleeps in front of the fireplace.
That's so sad.
Hence the reason why her name is Cinderella.
Mm,
Cinderella.
yeah.
Actually, the older sister called her Cinderbum, which was very, very, very rude when this was written. The younger sister called her Cinderella. It was a little bit nicer,
Oh, yeah.
but it really I couldn't find like her actual name. But that's how she got her name. 'Cause she slept in front of the
Yeah.
fireplace. She was all like had a bunch of smut and fire stuff all over
Smut.
her. Not smut,
Soot.
soot. Sorry, she had soot all over her. She had soot from the fireplace and everything, and just just treated super badly. Well, Dad, like in all fairy tales, went out and had to go on a business trip, and asked all the girls like, "Hey, I'm leaving. Is there a gift that you want me to bring back?" Stepsisters, of course, jewelry, dresses. This is like they want the top stuff. And Cinderella asked for the first twig to tap his hat on his way back home. That's all she wanted.
Okay then.
She wanted a twig that tapped his hat. When he came back, that's exactly what he gave her. He's like, "Hey, bruh, here's
Here's a
here's the
twig.
stick that hit my hat." and she ends up burying it on her mother's grave that's, like, in the backyard. You bury family,
Yeah, yeah,
I guess, in your backyard then.
yeah.
Buried the stick, and it became a tree after she waters it every day with her tears 3 times a day.
That's so sad. I was about to say, how does a random twig become a tree? Then you said it was with her tears. I was like, gosh,
She watered it with her tears 3 times a day, every day,
that's so sad.
and it became a beautiful full tree where these birds, made a home in. And in exchange for, for Cinderella making them this beautiful home, and, like, some of they agreed to, bring you anything you want. Like, I guess it's like a magical tree and magical birds, I don't freaking know. But in exchange to take care, like, since she took care of them, they'll take care of her and bring anything she wishes. The same as the movie, the prince has a party.
Mm.
It wasn't a ball, it was a festival, but instead of lasting one night, it lasted 3 days.
Oh, interesting.
So during these 3 days, like, she wanted to go. Of course, she wanted to go to this festival. The stepmother was like, "Eh, nah, bruh." Stepsister was like, no, ew."
Ew.
And so finally, the stepmother, she convinced her stepmother, and she's like, "Fine, if you can get this bowl of lentils out of the fireplace ash within 2 hours, you can go." So she's like, "Okay, cool, I can do that." Called on her little bird friends and was like, "Hey, need help here." And within 30 minutes, like half an hour, they had all the lentils separated from the ash. Went to stepmom, and she's like, "You know what? No." And grabs 2 bowls of lentils, and lentils are like little bitty
Mm.
seeds.
Yeah.
We don't know what they are. They're like little bitty seeds. And dumps 2 bowls of lentils in the ash. And she's like, "You have an hour and a half, like 90 minutes to get all these lentils out, or you can't go." So she, again, calls on the birds, gets it done, whatever. And stepmom's like, "Nah, you ain't going. Like, you can't go. You're dirty. You're gross. Like, go away." So after she was like, "Yeah, no, you still ain't going." Like, change her mind. She goes to the backyard, just like the movie, kinda throws her stuff on the tree, cries. And she says this like little spell, little poem. And she says, little tree, shake over me so that silver and gold may come down and cover me," is what she says. There's no
Interesting.
bippity boppity boo, there's no fairy godmother. Like, that's what she says.
It's just a magic
And the
tree.
birds, yeah, it's just my tree. And the birds came up with this beautiful dress, and it was embroidered with silver and gold, and they had little gold slippers, I guess, in their beaks. But gave this like beautiful silver and gold dress with gold slippers, and she cleaned up. She got really clean, got ready, and she was so beautiful. She was unrecognizable
Oh.
to her stepmother, to her stepsisters. She was just so unrecognizable. And she gained, when she got there to the festival, she gained everyone's attention. She was the center of attention, including the prince. And the prince decided, "You're gonna be my dance partner," and danced with her all night long. All night long. And then he offered to, walk her home like a gentleman does.
Mm.
And he wants to see where she's from. And she just books it. She just goes, runs away. And well, the prince follows her. He's like, "Where you going, bruh?" And she gets to the house. He follows her all the way to the house. And she jumps in um, not prism, pigeon. She jumps in a pigeon coop and hides. Prince is like, "Hey, Girl's hiding here. And the father takes an axe and tears up the prison coop trying to catch the girl. She jumps out without being caught and she falls asleep by the fireplace. She's like, oh, well, no one's here. Prince goes home. He's like, okay, whatever. No one was there. Okay, maybe tomorrow night. She pretty much did the same thing the second night, but the birds brought her an even more beautiful dress because she still has the gold shoes, but even more beautiful dress. And she goes, she dances with the prince all night, has a great time. No one recognizes her. She's so clean. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna walk you home. Where are you from? She books it. He follows her, gets all the way home, like chases after her, gets all the way gets all the way home, and instead of going in a pigeon coop, she climbs a pear tree. He's like, "Hey, someone's up there. I need her." Father comes out with an axe, chops down the pear tree. Oh, there's no one there. She sneaks off, goes to sleep by the fireplace. Princess is like, "Ah, okay, cool. Guess I'll see you tomorrow. Whatever." On the third
Oh my
night,
gosh.
the birds again brought her a beautiful, like even more beautiful than the last two nights. Gorgeous dress. She looked magnificent. Well, the prince got smarter.
I hope
He
so.
used his he used his brain and danced all night long, enjoyed themselves. But without Cinderella knowing, he set a trap for her. Not like a creepy like I'm gonna trap you in a cage. Like tricked her.
Right, I'm gonna trap you in a cage.
I mean, that's where some of these stories go. He covered the stairs with a sticky substance called pitch. It's like a something from a tree,
Mm,
really sticky substance.
mhm.
Which how many shoes did he catch with that? Because there was a lot of people there. Don't think he like thought that out well. But anyways, um, she took like at the end of the night, took off running, went downstairs. Her shoe got caught. He was like, "Ha, you got your shoe. I tracked you down with the shoe."
I've got a shoe.
Oh, the slipper comes off. And the next day, the prince goes to find like because he knows whereabouts where she lives because
Right.
he followed her home. Goes to the house.
Mhm.
So he's not searching the whole kingdom. He goes to the house. I was like, "Hey, I need a girl that fits the shoe. Like, I know she lives around here. I need a girl that fits the shoe." The stepsisters were so excited. They were like, "Oh," like kind of track back a little bit. Stepsisters have noticed this girl, the
Uh-huh.
one at the ball, like the
Yeah,
festival,
yeah,
and they have like oohed and awed over her to Cinderella. Like
yeah.
they love her. Well, hold on, the prince is here. We can try on the shoe. Well, the older sister tried on the shoe first, and it didn't fit. Her big toe would not go in the shoe. I want to know who puts on a slipper, heel first, but her big toe wouldn't go in the shoe. So her mom's like, "Hey, man, once you be queen, you're not gonna need to walk anywhere. Cut that toe off," and hands her a knife. So big sister goes into the room, slices her big toe off, shoves the shoe on, and the prince is like, "Oh my gosh, my princess!" Goes and goes rides off with her. And while he's starts riding past the tree where the birds are like, "Hey," I didn't write down the song they sang, but like, "Hey, look at her foot. It's freaking bleeding. Got the wrong person." They sang it like a pretty song. They said something. They're like, "Hey man, her foot's bleeding. There's something wrong." So He looked back and he's like, "Ah, you're the wrong person." Goes back to the house to be like, "Hey, she sliced her toe off. Like, this is the wrong person." So they tried the younger sister. Well, her heel wouldn't fit. So mom's like, "Hey, once you're queen, you're not gonna have to walk." Younger sister's kind of stupid. So she didn't learn from older sister. She was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna hack part of my heel off." So she goes to the bedroom, hacks part of her heel off. The poor shoe was covered in blood and sticky stuff, and this golden shoe so so bad right now. Puts the shoe on. The prince is like, "Oh my god, it fits." Runs off with her.
My question is,
Bert,
my question is like how is the prince not questioning why they're going like disappearing to be able to put a shoe on?
I don't know, he's stupid. Rides by the tree again with the birds in it, and the birds are like, "Oh my gosh, dude, check her foot, it's bleeding." Again, I'm just kind of not
Paraphrasing.
not paraphrasing, not the right words. They sung a little diddle, like a little song. But, they were like, "Hey, it's not her. Cry again, bruh." So he goes back inside, and he's like, "Hey, I demand to see any other girl that lives in this house." And the father, remember the father's alive, like, "Oh, we don't have anybody else. We just have a slave." And just says words that I don't wanna repeat repeat because 'cause they're mean,
Oh my gosh.
but, like, just completely dogs on Cinderella. Like, just puts
That's
her
so
down, and he's like,
sad.
"I don't care. I wanna see her." So, stepsisters, stepmother, and father are all against this poor girl. She comes out, she puts the shoe on, it fits. He's like, "Oh, my princess, let's go." He rides by the trees with the birds, kinda slows down, listens for the birds, and they're like, "Yay, you finally got the right one, you stupid asshole." Again, paraphrasing, that wasn't correct, but sung to them, and they were like, "Yeah, you finally got the right one, stupid." If they rode off to be happily ever after. Well, they sent invitations out. The sisters came, like, to the wedding in good favor. They're like, "Okay." And, like, those birds never left Cinderella's side. They rode off with her. They were there with her at the wedding. They were on her shoulders. And the sisters I'm not joking. That'd be really freaking awkward for the prince. Like, ugh, birds. But they were on her shoulders, and the sisters came up, like, congratulating her, wanting to get on her good side. I don't know whether it was for, like, they actually felt bad or if it was, so she's gonna be royalty, get on her good side.
Mhm.
She was like, "Oh, no, it's okay. I forgive you," being the nice, precious person she is. Those birds did not forgive them. Those birds swooped down, like, they flew up, swooped down, and plucked their eyes out, and they were blinded for the rest of their lives. And that is how the story ends.
Just imagine just like being like, I don't need no man. I don't need no protection. I got my birds.
To my birds. Those birds had attitude, I tell you what, like
That's
like,
so funny.
just like yes, it was written in a like a older, like, kinda harder to comprehend kinda way,
Yeah.
but, like, you really sit down with it.
Uh.
Those birds had an attitude.
Oh my god.
I was paraphrasing, but those birds had an attitude with that prince. I would hate to be on the bad side, like, start, like, sitting in the kitchen having an argument like married couples do,
Just
but
the birds
and
just
those birds just sitting there staring at you. "I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
never
I'm
mind.
sorry. We're good. Fine. We're good. We're happily ever after, right? Happily ever after." So, we did Snow White.
Mhm,
We did Cinderella.
mhm,
Gonna keep it with, like, the old Renaissance theme.
mhm.
I don't know if y'all really like this episode, you wanna hear more stories, I actually have a lot of other ones written down, but we're gonna keep it to the three, original princesses. So we're gonna do Sleeping Beauty. So I'm gonna let you do the explaining of the Disney Sleeping Beauty.
Okay, dokie. It's really funny. Is the three that we're doing is the three that were least favorites.
Yeah, honestly.
I think the older versions are better. Okay. Sleeping Beauty. Okay. So, there's this queen, there's the king. They had a baby, right? Okay. And his baby, there was a huge celebration for this baby. And they were like, okay, we gotta invite everyone in the whole kingdom. But we ain't gonna invite that creepy little witch thingy over there. She ain't invited.
Fairy. A dark fairy.
Sorry, fairy.
Maleficent was a dark fairy.
And and they were like, we ain't inviting her though. And Maleficent was like, no you ain't. I'm gonna be invited. That's so rude. And so she went, not happening. I'm gonna curse your child. And she's going to prick her finger and fall into a deep sleep. Something like that, I don't know. And I don't know if she actually said that. Anyways, and the king and queen were like, oh no, we don't want our child to fall into a deep sleep. So they're like, here, live with these three fairies, these three strangers you don't know. They'll raise you because we can't trust ourselves to raise you. So we'll let them raise you because I don't understand the difference there, but apparently it's safer. Anyways, so you have the three fairies, they come and get her and they go live with it, right? And they were like, "Oh, we keep you held captive here. Like you'll stay in this house. You won't go anywhere. We'll keep you safe." Okay, well, she turns like whatever age, I don't know how old she was. It's her birthday, right? And she's out and she's going around. Well, and then she sees this princess clothing, and then the birds and the animals were like, "Oh, look, we'll pretend to be the man." And they're like all floating around, and that's where the feather hat comes into play. And they're all floating around, and then the guy sees her and he goes, "Oh, what's your name?" She goes, "Oh no!" And then she like runs away. Right? Okay. I don't know if that's actually happened. It's been for so long since I've seen this movie.
So you're skipping a
And
lot
then,
of stuff, but
well, they get to the thing, and they're like, it's like up until her certain birthday, and then and that birthday's coming up, and they're gonna celebrate her birthday, and then they'd have the cake, and they're like making the dress, and they're like, no pink, no blue, no pink, no blue, no pink, no blue, and then one's making the cake, and she holds it up with the broom, and then she's like, yes, I'm finally old enough. I'm gonna go live with my mom and dad that I've never seen in my entire life. I don't know who they are, but I love them so much. I'm going to go live with them. She goes and lives with them, and then her curse hits her, and then she's like, I'm gonna go prick my finger. And then she pricks her finger. And then she goes, oh no. Oh, and she falls asleep. And then they're like, oh my goodness, who could predict this? She fell asleep from pricking her finger. And the princess is like, dun 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 dun. Absolutely not. I will fix it. And he goes, mwah. And she's like, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sleepy. What happened? And he goes, I love you. And then they go to a dance, and then they're dancing, and they're like, la 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 la. And then the fairies are still pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue on her dress.
and
I don't know. I've been so long
they
since
live
yeah.
happily
Oh,
ever
yeah, sorry.
after.
They live happily ever after.
All right, so that's Sleeping Beauty in Haley's nutshell.
Wait. You calling me a nut? That's rude.
Yeah. So I am gonna tell you about one of the originals. This is, I think, this was the back in the 1600s. This is a story that's like super super old. One of the originals. It's called Sun, Moon, and Talia,
Interesting.
and it's like this is like one of the originals. No, Sleeping Beauties.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts the birth of the princess named Talia instead of, you know, a curse being placed on the baby because they weren't allowed, she wasn't allowed at the baby shower.
Mm-hmm.
They have several wise men, psychics come in and they're like, hey, I need to know my baby's future. They're like, hey, um, she'll be put in great danger because of flaxseed, which I don't know what flaxseed has to do with a spinning wheel. I don't know. If anyone knows, let me know.
No
But
idea.
she has in danger of flaxseed. So the king orders that um anything flats, spinning, anything like that is outlawed in the kingdom. Can't do it. She's never seen a spinning wheel. She's never seen anything like that. And anything like similar to like the movie. That's what they did. They like in the movie they burned all the spinning wheels. They burned all of them. But in the movie they burned all of them but one. Like they were like they outlawed it from the kingdom. And well, years go by, and Talia is an adult. Well, adultish. I really don't know what age she is. With these fairy tales, they're very young, but adultish. She's
Dish.
older, and she kind of wanders out of the kingdom, wants to see everything, wants to like kind of go out exploring. Sorry, my head freaking itches. These headphones. So it goes out and goes out of the kingdom, and she saw this old lady spinning on a spinning wheel. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, what's that?" 'Cause she's never seen one. And so she wants to try. She's like, "Hey, okay, can I try? Can I try the spinning wheel?" And she tries it. And when she, tries, show her how to do it, she had a flaxseed jammed into under her nail.
Oh,
Like under, yeah, have you ever had a splinter under your nail? It hurts so
my
bad. A
gosh.
flaxseed is bigger. She had a flaxseed jammed under her nail. Immediately passes out. She's like, "I'm gone, dead, gone." So dad finds her, the king finds her. He's like, "Oh my gosh, so heartbroken. She's dead. Whatever." Like, uh, puts her in the house, pretty much makes it her tomb, sets her up on a chair, locks down the house, and abandons the house and never comes back.
What?
Is the weirdest part of the story.
He's like, oh no,
Just
I feel so
walks
bad.
away,
No, no, I feel
walks
so bad. And
away,
he's like, okay, here you go. I feel so bad. You're gonna be right there. Bye.
pretty
My
much.
gosh.
Makes it her tomb, locks the house up, sits her up in the chair, locks her house up, and is just ignores that it happened. Um, because he's so upset with grief and he just wants to forget it. Well, a king from another kingdom is off on a hunting trip and comes across this house and breaks in for some unknown reason. Breaks in. He's like, "Oh, a house," and finds Talia sitting on the chair. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. Like infatuated with her, loves her. Tried his hardest to wake her up. Tried everything. She just wouldn't wake up. So he's like, "Man, well," picked her up off the chair, took her to the bed. Forcefully made quote unquote love to her, because I can't say the other thing, unconsensual, and leaves her there.
Oh god.
Goes back to his kingdom, does what he does, forgets about her. It literally says he forgot about
Oh
her.
my god.
Unknowns to him, he got her pregnant. 9 months later, like the fairies are like, "Oh, bro, she was pregnant." Helped like the fairies came in, helped her deliver the babies while she's still unconscious. She's still dead. Delivers the babies, takes the babies, and placed them on the chest so they can breastfeed.
Oh my
And they would
god.
do this every few hours. They would just keep placing the babies on her. She was like a feeding machine. It was so terrible. Again, I am just like paraphrasing all this.
Oh
This is
my
not
god.
this is not like from word for word. I'm paraphrasing everything. But one day, they place the babies up, to eat, to feed, because, mom's unconscious, and one of the like, the baby's twins, um, one of the babies got a hold of her finger by accident and started sucking on her finger, thinking it was, food,
Uh-huh.
and sucked the flaxseed out from under her nail. Immediately wakes up. She's like, "Oh, where the heck am I? Who are these babies?" Not knowing that they're her babies, has no clue, and she thinks these babies saved her life.
Oh my god.
So she continues to breastfeed these babies, take care of these babies. The fairies, stopped showing up at some point. I guess I don't know. Like the fairies weren't like, "Hey, this happened." Stopped hearing from the fairies. She's like, "Oh, these babies saved my life. I will take care of them." Well, the king suddenly remembers. Ah, a while ago there was this girl. I'm gonna go visit her again. Goes inside the house. By his surprise, she is alive, and there's some babies, and he is an absolute awe. He tells her exactly what he did, that he is the father, those are his babies, and that he's so in love with her. And he spent a couple days with them, and they got really close, became very infatuated with each other. After explaining exactly what he did to her, which is,
Oh my gosh.
uh, and Talia's grateful. She's grateful for these babies,
Hey, thanks for
for
knocking me
him.
up.
Yeah, like, right? And he was just after a couple days spending with them, absolutely obsessed. Like he so obsessed that because he got the babies, called them Sun and Moon.
um, Interesting.
Yeah, right. And he went back to his kingdom. He was always repeating Sun, Moon, Talia, Sun, Moon, and Talia. And the queen, his wife, was like, "Bruh, who is that? Why you keep repeating their names? Like, I'm here. Quit repeating other people's names." And she got just really suspicious. She's like, "Oh, who is this?" So she went to the secretary, the king's secretary. He's like, "Hey, what do you know?" He's like, "Nah, I don't know nothing." She's like, "I'm gonna threaten you. What do you know?" So he's like, "This is who they are." And she's outraged. She's absolutely outraged. Of course, you know, a family in another city, like, I'd be outraged too. So she convinces the secretary to write a note to them to have Sun and Moon. Like, he misses them so much. He misses, being with them, like, as the king. So she forges it as the king. I misses them so much, like, send them to me. Like, send the babies here. So that's what she did. Talia sent the babies to him. And the queen ordered the cook to kill these
Oh
babies
my god.
and cook them in the king's food.
Oh my god.
And the cook's like, "Yes, queen. Yes, 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 I'll do that." And then takes the babies and is like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's weird."
That was weird.
And takes the babies to his wife so that cares for him. He
Mhm.
found 2 baby lambs, cooked those instead, and put it like the king's food.
Mhm.
And while the king was eating dinner, his wife, the queen, was making like weird comments like, these are yours, you deserve it, whatever." And she was just being really weird, making really weird comments, and he's like getting really freaking annoyed with it. And so he was just like, "All right, I'm going to the villa and stuff. Like, I'm going to sleep on the couch. I'm going to the villa. I'm leaving. Like, I'm done. Like, you're being really freaking annoying." He actually told her, um, like, kind of paraphrased, uh, "You're stupid and you can't bear me children. like stuff like that. I don't know exactly what he said,
It's kind of
but
rude.
paraphrase, like he was mad, he was annoyed, he left.
Yeah.
And the queen was just like, "Oh, I'm kind of satisfied, but I'm still mad. Like I'm still angry." So yeah, she had the secretary send another letter to Talia saying, "As a king, I miss you. I love you. I want you to come live with me and your kids." Da da da. Talia is like, "Okay, cool, yeah, I will come." So she comes face to face with the queen and pretty much tells her, "I'm gonna burn you at the stake." Like her actual words were, "Are you the whore who's been enjoying my husband? Get ready to be welcomed in hell because soon you'll be going."
That's so sad.
And Talia's like, "Oh man, like oh shit, like what did I walk into?" She asked the queen if she, before she gets burnt at the stake, if she can undress because her clothes are so fine, like so nice. Queen, like, hey, yeah, that's actually a really nice dress. Kind of want that dress. Like, yeah, sure, go ahead, undress.
Oh my gosh.
You know, do what you're gonna do.
Right.
And Talia slowly, very very slowly, while screaming, being as loud as she can, and crying, undresses.
Oh my gosh.
And the king is coming back from the villa and hears, the commotion. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
they're screaming. Like, what's going on? Comes in and sees his wife and his lover face to face. And he asks, what the hell's going on? Like, what's going on? Like,
Mm.
what is this? And the queen tells the king, not only am I going to burn her alive, I fed you your children.
Oh my gosh.
You ate your children, and I'm going to burn your lover alive. King is
Jeez.
outraged. He's like, I can't believe this. Like, he's absolutely outraged. He sentenced the queen and anybody was associated with this whole like problem.
Uh-huh.
I say problem situation
Uh-huh.
to be burnt at the stake.
Oh my gosh.
So the queen, the secretary, the cook, everyone's just be burned. They're dead.
No.
Well, he punished the queen, burnt
Mm.
her as a stake, undressed her, made her go as she was gonna make Talia.
Uh-huh.
Secretary burned him at the stake.
Mm.
Like you're a part of this. You wrote the letters. You're a part of this. Got to the cook. The cook's like, hold up, wait, hold on a minute,
Don't
and
kill
he
me.
he comes clean. Like tells the king, I not only should not be burnt at the stake, but I should be rewarded
Yeah.
a very pretty
Right.
penny. Reward me because you did not eat your children. My wife has them.
You're welcome.
So, the truth came out. Cook was pardoned. Actually, was rewarded a very, very, very pretty penny and was allowed, keep cooking at the castle if he
Mhm.
wanted to. But he was rewarded with great riches, and the king lived the rest of his life out with Sun, Moon, and Talia, and they
Interesting.
lived happily ever after.
Okay then. I just imagine waking up and be like, "Who are they?" Be like, "Oh, random kids." Okay. Tells them, "Oh, those are your
They
children,
said
and those
they
are my children." Yeah.
like he went like I was gonna like I wrote summaries on like
Yeah.
how these
Yeah.
stories went. He went into detail on what he did to her.
Ugh.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Can you imagine just waking up having these things like if you haven't been a mom and if you never breastfed, this is gonna be a TMI. It hurts. The women that can do it for so long amaze me. I only did it for like 3 months because it hurts so freaking bad. Could you imagine just waking up and this two children
Two of
latched
them.
onto you? I just freaking out. No, she was grateful. She's like, "But these children saved me. They saved me from my death."
Oh my goodness.
Um,
That's
that
crazy.
those are the original summary summaried stories of the first three Disney princesses. And if, like I said, if you would like some more, I have like my one of my favorite movies is Aladdin, and I have that like a summary written down of that one. I have Milan. I have like there's so many, so many Disney movies that were based on old fairy tales
Hmm.
that I have summary written down. So if y'all would like to, hear some more, we would be happy to do
Absolutely.
it. But we wanted to start off with the first like three Disney princesses, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
I
It
think
was
it
a lot of
was.
fun researching it. It was a lot of fun knowing like the Disney version
Hmm.
versus like one of the fairy tales. Like I said, there's like a lot of them, so
Yeah.
they're each one of them have their messed up points.
Hmm.
Each one of them have different. It's like a game of telephone,
Yeah.
just rewriting it. And like I said, like before, my favorite types of genres is like dark retellings of Disney or fairy tales. So this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
I think honestly it was a great way to kick off the spooky season too with how dark some of those guys.
Not really like spooky, just
No, just
messed up,
weird.
man. It's like I know we talked about the Beauty and the Beast in the last episode, like the first like
Mm,
season 2, episode 1. I know we talked about a little bit about the Beauty and the Beast one. Um, I do want to say if you look up the Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp, oh my God, the beginning of it is funny.
no. Maybe we'll have to
So
just do a part two at some point.
we'll do it for part 2, but I'm just real quick, just real quick. So you know Aladdin in the movies is an orphan, he's
Mm,
like a street rat, whatever. And the story, he's not an orphan. He lives with his mother,
mm.
and he is the biggest freaking loser. He does nothing. He is just a loser.
Oh my gosh.
His dad died of disappointment
Oh my gosh.
because he is such a loser.
Oh my gosh.
He is
That's
just a waste of
horrible.
time. Like that's how that starts.
Oh my gosh. That's horrible.
So, like, doing the Aladdin one it was pretty it was really long, but it was funny. But if it's something that you wanna hear, we can definitely do a part 2.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do, like, a midweek, um, like, posting if you really like this one, do, like, a midweek posting and not just do it on, like, Thursday.
Yeah.
But, we look really forward into October and doing, like, kinda spooky stuff. I
Mm,
plan on, like, writing some of the episodes, like, I'm gonna do some research on haunted locations, paranormal, stuff like that. I'm not gonna go too in depth just because 'cause I'm more into the spooky stuff than Haley is,
it's
but I
okay.
find it really interesting,
It's okay. We'll
and
embrace the spookiness.
and, you know, if you want more of just, like, the maybe spooky book recommendations, just anything like that, let us know.
Yes. On that note, y'all have a good rest of your day, and we hope to see you, or not really see you, but we hope you listen to the next episode. Oh my
We are
goodness.
tired. It is late at night, and we will see y'all later.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Oh gosh.
Don't forget to come hang out with us every Thursday when we talk about the common chaos of sisterhood.